welcome to Veggie Shopping List Generator version 2.03, the sharing version. This video replaces video 3 from the previous version for most of its part. In this new release, we now have the ability to use the sharing function of Android to send backup recipes, to share recipe with friends. We also made it a lot easier to create your own recipe or bring information from other recipe you find on the web, as we will demonstrate to you shortly. Before we go to that, I'd like to point a few things we had changed. If you go to the setting and tool, you will notice the storage default storage location as an extra folder called backup. We did that. We moved the backup to its own, or the sharing and backup to its own folder for some future use will do. If you do have backup in the previous under the file folder, you can still restore from them if you have to, by just removing the backup from this line there. But before we go into backups, and I want to show you how we have made it easier to create recipe. Under the Add Zip, we now have the ability to, if you want to add a new recipe, you can go and say add base information, and since you didn't put any recipe name, we will create one. I'll call it soup 2. Okay, and this recipe basically is a recipe. It's a pea soup recipe that I have found on the web. So if I look at this is the recipe on the web. So what I can do here is I can go and I can copy the link. So the URL has been copied. Then I go back to Veggie Shopping List Generator. I'm sorry. It's at the recipe on soup 2. Add base information. And for the source, I can just paste it. And now you've got the URL on it, and I can update that. The other thing I can do for soup 2 is I can go and edit product. Right now, you'll still have to enter the list of product you need from the recipe, as I don't have any automated way to extract them. But it's very easy to, sorry, okay, so the first thing you want is add some products, so you'll add several of them. And the first thing from that recipe was dry split peas. And it was 1 cup. I'm doing out the recipe. The next ingredient was vegetable broth, and we use Imagine vegetable broth. And there was, I believe it was 2 cups. So now I can continue with all of the ingredients like that, where I already have done that for, I had another the recipe. Pea soups was actually the one I had, if I look at the product, you'll find that it has all of the ingredients there. Now the other thing you may want to do is you may have your own description of the recipe or how you've changed it. Now, so when I go into soup 2, it is information. I have something here where I can say my comment. And say that. Now, if you have a fairly extensive description, it's kind of difficult to do it like that on your directly on your cell phone. So what I've done is I've created a more extensive comment, and I put it on Google Drive. So if I go to Google Drive, and I find it that under pea soup, I had a more extended comment, and I did it under Words, Google Docs, I mean. I can go in here, and I can select all and copy. Then I can go back to my recipe, soup 2. It's at base information, and I can remove that. Whoops, sorry. And I can long click, and I can paste it. Oops. Here we go. Now you have to remember to update it. So now when I go to soup 2, or actually if I go to choose your review, choose your own recipe, and I look at soup 2, you'll see the description there. So that makes it easy to add a recipe from different sources and add your own comments if you're making change to the recipe. And now the other thing that I want to show you is now you've got these recipes and you'd like to share them with your friend. You convince your friend to install the app, and now you'd like to send them recipes. So what I can do is I would go to, again, the exit, and I'm going to actually share pea soup. And also my quick Caesar salad. And I will go and say share the selected recipe. And it gives you how to share them, and I'm going to use Gmail to share them. And I'm sending it to my other email address, and I send it. So now, if I go to my other email, it hasn't arrived yet. Oh, here it is. So you'll see the data from an understood by Veggie shopping list, and it comes. So now this was pea soup 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how somebody would receive it. So I'm going to go into I'm going to go and delete pea soup from, so now it doesn't exist in my recipe. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my email and pick up and I'm going to do a select all, share, and now I'm going to share it with Veggie shopping list generator. Text received from another app, starting receiving, backup, recipe, quick Caesar received, not replaced, restore completed. Oh, okay, quick receipt was there already. So now if I go to you see that pea soup is there again. It has been received. If the recipe exists, like quick Caesar, I had not erased it. We will not replace it because your friend may have a completely different recipe by the same name. So we go with the name of the recipe. We will not replace it. So so I hope you find this this information. Now, the other thing you can do before I let you go is in the backup, like I will call it backup T3, and the option I will do a share backup. And again, I'm going to use Gmail to send the backup, to save the backup. Where is is right in front of me. So again, I'm going to send it to my other email. Send it. Now, sometime when you see, if you have used the app for a while and you have quite a bit of recipe, when you share a backup, you may find that it's creating two files. So you will, when you do the share, will send part 1, then it'll send part 2. When you restore, again, the restore is the same way you would restore. Let me see. I have. Okay, so I have my backup T3. So I am going to go to the app. I'm going to go to the setting and tool. I'm going to clear the data. So now there is nothing in there. So I'm going to go now to my email again. Find my backup T3. I'm going to do a select all, share with Veggie Revolution, Veggie Shopping List Generator, receiving data from another app, starting restore completed. If I go and look at the last tour report, it has restored, it has completed, and my database is, is back with my recipe. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little longer than I expected, but enjoyed it, and tried the new function under version 2.03. Thank you very much.